All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. Please apologize. Whoops, for the mess. You guys don't need to see that right now, or this, or whatever else I have. Let's just toss that somewhere. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of rearranging and cleaning up the studio. Gonna start the new year off a little different setup and see if it helps with the inspiration in here. Um, So, first off, thank you all for tuning in. This is the last Get in Tune of 2025. And what I decided to do, as I do every year, is bring some friends of mine on and catch up with them, see what they've been working on, just chat about everything, comics, whatever. We're going to have a good time tonight. Um, I mentioned Carl and my advertisement was going to be here, but he couldn't make it tonight. So that sucks, but we will have a good show anyway. So let's bring on our guests. Okay. Give me 1 second. Well, let's bring on our guests and let them introduce themselves, and then I am going to little feedback I think you guys are getting, and if you are, please let me know in the chat. Um, I'm gonna just play with my mic, but let's bring on some past guests. Rick Keene, who's there.
I'm sorry.
Tim Jones.
No, that happened kind of quick, didn't it?
And obviously, I found out when Carl was on, I've been saying my friend Rich's last name incorrect for years. So I'm going to have him say his last name so I can hear it again. But as I always say, Rich Maurizio, but obviously that's wrong.
Hi.
Hi, Rich. How do you say your last name properly?
Maurizio.
Okay, okay, now I know.
Mike, I'm hearing you twice.
Yeah, there's you mentioned there was a reverb. I have some fans on. I don't know if the fans are doing it, but my mic keeps dropping out of the area I have it in. So,
Tim, excuse me, Tim. I have been mispronouncing your last name.
I can't hear a thing.
Okay, hold on. All right, my mic.
It's like a 3-time reverb.
Huh, that's weird.
I hear just fine.
You hear just fine. So it might be your headphones then that you're using. Do you want to try without the headphones and see what happens, Rich?
Rich, do you want to remove the headphones and... Sorry. I apologize to anybody who knows
I cannot hear anyone.
Okay. All right.
Wait, whoa.
I'm gonna send a private chat.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'll text you.
Just like.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Crickets.
No, still reverbing.
It's still reverb.
Do you guys have any reverbing going on or not?
No, I have a little static when you talk, but I don't have anything.
Maybe he has a bad connection. Maybe he should log off and come in again.
I was going to suggest that. Try that out. All right.
Could somebody text him and tell him?
I think he heard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 3-time repeating it. Okay. Bye.
All right. I will. All right. There he goes.
Well, I thought he'd never leave. Okay. So listen, guys.
All right. So while we wait for Rich to come back on.
Yeah.
Why don't, for those who may be new to today's show, which thank you for watching, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves? And Rick, why don't you go first? Kind of what you've done, and
everything I've done.
Yeah, we've only got an hour.
Yeah.
Everything.
The highlights, man. The highlights.
The highlights. Well, let's see.
Again.
Okay, the highlights. 35 years. I was with DC for 35 years. I retired officially like a year and a half ago. And 5 of those years, I worked on Disney comics. And
Okay, that's
now
better.
I was talking. I was just getting on a roll.
Sorry.
And then, I don't know. I decided maybe I should my retirement time would be spent better if I needed a reason to keep drawing, so I signed up with conventions, and I go to conventions and shows, and it's working out pretty good. And I've met these guys. These guys I consider friends now, and I think it's a nice camaraderie. And I learn. I've learned from both of them and other people I've met. So every day I get up and I'm doing. It's I'm at the drawing board. It's a lot less digital now, and I'm at the drawing board drawing and trying all kinds of old school media that I still have, that I've had for years. Um, I came across some pen tips today, like the speedball and there was one called the Pelican pens. They had a version of it too with these different pen tips, and I hadn't used them in like 40 years, maybe more. And I wear this mouth guard when I go to sleep at night. Don't worry, this all connects. I'll get to the point. And I bought an ultrasonic cleaner that you just kind of take the thing out, rinse it off, drop it in, and you can use like what is it, those Efferdent tablets to for false teeth. I don't have false teeth. Like once a week to clean your thing, but every day, every morning, I put this thing in for like 10 minutes. And in fine print, it said can also be used with fine jewelry. And we used to have an ultrasonic in high school for our pen tips. So honest to God, these things you couldn't even tell what color metal they were. They were just coated with black for like 40 years. And I was thrilled. About 5 o'clock, I'm going to try this. And I dropped them in. And when it was done, I opened it up and there were these silver pen tips. And now I'm all excited to start inking with these different kinds of pen tips again. So I'm hooray for good hygiene. I'll stop talking now. Anyway, I'm doing that kind of a thing where I'm going through all kinds of media I haven't used in years because of the computer and stuff. And it's great, inking, coloring, penciling, all kinds of stuff. So that's what I've been up to.
That's great.
And keeping my teeth really clean, yeah.
It's like a Sensodyne commercial. My God.
I was going to say, Tim, you're off.
1 out of 4 people recommend.
What was the question?
I don't remember.
What was the question?
Who are you and what do you do?
I've told you who I am, and I'm done telling you what I do.
All right. So for the record, I'm sitting down, and I'm a cartoonist, and I draw a comic strip called Sour Grapes, and I write it too. And that's about it, Rich.
Well, how do you take care of your teeth? What do you sleep with a?
How do I take care of my teeth? I take it. Well, we go for a walk once a day.
Come on, share. Let's go.
Oh, I knew this wasn't going to be sane.
Of course not.
So yeah, so the strip is, I'm sure you guys know, it's in last count 64 papers and nationally, and keeps growing. And I have a soda that I don't put my gums in. It's fine. And,
Twice the sugar, twice the
I don't take my gums out. It's a sleep guard, like a mouth guard. It cleans my pen tips.
Pen tips, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pen Tips R Us. And so, yeah, that's basically what I've been doing that for a long time, and started Sour Grapes is actually celebrating its 10th year for the next couple weeks, and then we're going on 11. So, and I mean we by all the people in my head. And so far, so good. So that's basically what I do.
And you do it well.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You do it well. It makes me laugh. I mean, you post your strip every week on Facebook, and then it cracks me up.
Oh, good. That's the idea. Thank you.
Yep.
The one you just posted today, I loved.
I literally just posted it before the show. Did you see it already?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Reacted to it. I think I put laugh or a heart or something on there. It was great. I loved it.
Thank you.
And Rich,
Yeah.
about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I don't know how to use the computer. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, we saw that in action.
Let me see. What am I doing? What did I do? I used to work on Looney Tunes, Animaniacs, all the classic characters, Underdog,
Tom and
Jerry, Archie. So that's what I was doing. I did a couple covers recently for Mad Cave. I did a Flash Gordon cover, and I did a Phantom cover, which should be out in a couple of weeks. Rick colored it, and that's what I'm doing. Working on a couple other projects right now. So,
didn't you do the Tom and Jerry's comic strip too, or part
yeah,
of it?
Yeah, we worked. A whole bunch of us worked on it. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Do you have any of those around? Any of the original strips around?
I have one original. So one.
Why? What happened to the others?
Oh,
is that your severance package?
Yeah, that was my severance package. We used to sell them at conventions. You know, the fans and stuff like that. You know, for like next to nothing, and now they're on eBay for $150. So I have the very last strip, and I also have a Sunday page. So.
Do you have any old sketchbooks from the Tom and Jerry days where you would rough stuff out and then go over and do the strip? You have any?
Nah, not really. No. So, an artist, Kelly Jarvis, she did most of the penciling on the strip. I did some of the penciling in the later years. Jeff Schultz did some penciling. Actually, Alan Kupperberg helped out a couple times too. So we had a whole group of people working on the strip, not just myself. So, but that's it. What's the matter, Tim? You look sad.
No, just that's my constipated look. Sorry.
Okay.
This is my X-Lax look.
No.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming on tonight. And for those who are new to the show, just a little background on me. I've worked illustration, animation, you know, call me whatever you want, cartoonist. I don't know. I consider myself a storyteller, and I've worked on. I had a comic strip called The Whimsical Whiz, which I worked on for a couple of years, and that I wrote and illustrated. In the 90s, I was known for my comic book Plunger Pup, about a dog who fought crime with a magic plunger. And one of the highlights a couple of years ago, I got to work on Zorro for myself, who's one of my favorite characters. And I got some other projects in the works, one of them currently being my first manga. So cool. that's what I'm doing. But it's funny, Rick, you were mentioning how like you looked at the pens and you were starting to play with materials you haven't played with in a while, and I'm kind of doing the same thing myself right now. I haven't painted in years, and I was I'm pulling out watercolor again. I'm thinking about gouache because I haven't played with that in years either, and I'm just eager to paint, and I've never tried oils. And I was at a job lot over the weekend. Yeah, I think it's called Job Lot. And they had a $5 oil paint kit. So I was just the paints, not like anything else. And I was like, oh, you know, and I might as well start with colors. It wasn't a bad brand, I think. Phoenix brand. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
anything from from those stores, it's like you're going to be painting over and over and over again. So especially if it's on canvas.
Use it quickly.
Yeah.
Use
No,
it quickly
listen, that's the plan.
before they turn into crayons.
I've never used oils. I said, let me try something. I looked up the brand in the store, and supposedly they're pretty decent. I'm assuming I bought a student grade brand, but people were talking about their online, their oils are really good. So I'm like, okay, I probably bought a student grade, not their pro grade.
Well, you are a student, right? I mean, even if you never oil painted before, why not try with something?
No, but like you were saying, they're going to turn into something pretty quickly. So within a month, I'm probably going to start oils. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. The digital thing is because that's the way companies want stuff submitted. I mean, I still worked at the drawing board, but then things would have to, get into Photoshop and stuff. But now, selling the original work, boy, I still, my Tabaret over there, all this art equipment I've had for years, plus I've ordered a whole bunch of new stuff. And it's just so great not sitting down at a computer and just every day sitting at the drawing board all day using traditional media.
Yeah.
I think I just think it's good for us, I mean, I did some watercolor before I started doing the canvas. I was watercoloring. I was trying anything. And but now I have more of a reason now to sit down and use this stuff. That's great.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. So one of the reasons also I changed up this piece in here is because now it's just a spin for me to drawing board right here, digital right here, so a lot easier to work instead of my previous setup. So hopefully it helps my workflow, and now I get to stare at a lot more of what's decorated in here for inspiration, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like it.
Thank you. I'll show when I clean this place up and make it look nice. I'll show it off again. But it's I even am creating a spot that if anybody ever wants to come hang out, there's a workspace for
nice
for someone. So
I may do that.
Yeah.
I had to point my camera at this is where I work, this room, studio, whatever, and I had to point it to the least cluttered wall I could find because it's just, well, Rich, you've been here.
Oh yeah.
Rich wants to come in here when I'm not home. He wants to come in with a U-Haul.
Well, that's creepy.
Well, yep. I know. I got a mess too.
I think as artists, we all kind of do, that's just kind of what we have,
Yeah.
It's the way our minds work, and everyone thinks we're messy, but it's just how our brains work,
Yeah.
My lighting sucks, as you can see.
We'll get you new lights one day.
Honest to God. It's like I never know what time of day it is down here.
I've never seen anything creative come out of a neat workspace.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
No.
The only one I know, I won't say, I don't know if it was messy while he worked, but I remember reading like Norman Rockwell would clean every brush and clean up. He was very. I don't want to use the word anal, but he needed everything like walking in.
Meticulous.
Yeah, that's it.
Like a doctor, like a surgeon.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if when he painted, I don't remember the article I read. If he painted, he messed up things. But
no, he was very meticulous. Have you ever been up to his studio?
No, I never have. I know people
yeah.
who have, and they say it's like it's still very clean. Like they kept it.
It's the cleanest art studio I've ever seen.
It looks staged.
Yes, but it wasn't.
It looks like
it's not.
It looks like what somebody would say. Hey, let's set up an art studio for the public. Oh, it looks staged. It doesn't look like it was used.
Well, I was just telling Rick that my dad photographed Norman Rockwell, and
Really?
his studio was, it looked staged. It was clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had this. He liked to collect things. Apparently, when I was up there, he had a knight's helmet that he had right by his door. So you're not supposed to touch anything. Every time I'm up there, I tap the tap the helmet a little bit, like for good luck.
Yeah.
But
Open and close the front visor.
yeah, that's it.
Where's my mouse? I just want to say hi to Andrew Frank Rodriguez, who is watching. Hey, Frank. Or Andrew, sorry. And so, yeah, so, I mean, one of the things I like to do when I do my holiday show is kind of ask you guys to reflect on the past year that you've had artistically. And, think about it and like, was there anything new you guys did that was different than the previous years? Anything you liked? Want to try something different for the new year? If you guys have a moment to think about it, you could let me know. I mean, I know for myself, last year my big thing was getting back to traditional mediums and getting off the computer. This year, I found out I love traditional so much more. Like I fell in love with traditional again. Like when I was a kid, that art kind of became fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to continue that fun now
Yeah.
through whatever I decide to create. But anything that I will be releasing professionally will obviously have computer involved because I'm going to need that. But if I can, as much traditional work as possible. So I'd like to keep that as something.
Mm-hmm. Tim, anybody?
Oh,
what do you want to do for next year?
Boy, Tim, those power naps, they work wonders, don't they?
yeah, for me, it tends to stay the same, because I'm constantly on a deadline, getting the strip out and stuff. I try and do some projects for other people and stuff. Like I'm working on a kid's book now, slowly but surely. But I've had some life events recently, so
Yeah.
that's kind of set me back. But and so but every year for me it seems to get bigger, which is a good thing. I'm on a upward trajectory with my illustrious career here, and so that, I guess that's a good thing. It's not going the other way, deteriorating. It's actually accumulating. And look at me with the big words. And so so next year, which is only a couple weeks away, I'm hoping that some bigger things will happen. There might be something on the horizon. We'll see what happens in a little while. But this past year I've had some amazing experiences. I went to New York Comic-Con and survived that somehow.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. I was in heaven. I really, really was, and I didn't get to experience all of it. So
you never do.
You attended? I mean,
he survived.
Walked around.
I was. I went with a group, a video podcast crew called Superhero Speak. Very popular podcast, YouTube guys, and they invited me to go along as press. So I was able to go and just soak it all up. I saw a bunch of people I knew, met some people I would like to know, and that type of thing. So that was that. I went to my first Reuben Awards in Boston. They had it in Boston this year for the National Cartoonist Society. that was a game changer for me. It basically, I fit into a tux. That's a whole story in and of itself. And my wife and I went to that, and that was just, I got to meet a bunch of my heroes, which was great. A bunch of them were there that I didn't even know were there. Because with that stuff, you don't know what they look like. You know them by name.
Yeah.
You know? So everybody had a badge on that had their name and stuff. So that was good for me because I could remember who I was. But you know, that was an
What's
amazing.
in your soda? So never mind.
I know. So so next year, you know, I'm hoping some new stuff. I'm always thinking ahead. That's my thing. I'm always trying to stay ahead of the game and get things done, and new stuff all the time. I try not to stay stagnant. So, you know, that's about it for me.
All right.
And always new pairs of underwear to keep up on that. That was a big thing on my list for Christmas.
You gotta
dark colors for
you gotta
obvious
claim your
reasons.
victories where you can.
You know, nobody wants to see skid marks on, you know.
Oh boy.
So, well, thanks for sharing.
Good night, everybody.
Dark colors.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Now, moving on to Rich.
Why?
Before we ask you, I'd like to show off that Phantom cover that you did.
Okay.
Let's share the screen. There it is.
Ooh.
Colored. And I love this. I'm a huge Phantom fan. It is one of my dream gigs to work on. I think this looks great. And
Thanks.
so up on the top, we're leaving room for.
Yeah, they have it with the logo, and
yeah.
it's through Harrison Comics in Salem, Mass, and it's a limited copies. I think there's only going to be like 75 copies, and 5 metal copies. So yeah, they are limited. And I sort of did it more like an animated style than an illustrative style, which is more what I like to do. And it was fun. I'm possibly going to be doing a Defenders of the Earth cover. Just not sure yet. And that'll be through another store.
Yeah. And it's the history of the Phantom, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sometimes the Phantom was colored orange. So in that the bottom left-hand corner, wait a minute. In the bottom corner, you can see that he's orange, and he had more of a square face.
Yeah.
So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I have one?
Yes, you have one. And Rick did a good job coloring it. Made it pop out very, very well.
Can I have a metal one?
I'll get you a metal one.
Now, just a question on here. Is there a specific Phantom that this was numbered? Because I noticed you don't have the stripes on his...
Yeah, they got rid of the stripes.
They got rid of the... Okay.
For some reason, yeah.
Do they still use it in the comic strip and just the comic book is not using it?
I'm not sure. So...
What would have happened if you put the stripes in?
They would have said remove them. So... I know in Defenders of the Earth he didn't have the stripes, and I think that's who they're trying to use.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the Phantom comic that they published, he doesn't have the stripes.
I have to look. I haven't seen the new comic.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's very well written. Flash Gordon's written very well too.
Yeah.
That's a really good book. And Dick Tracy, they're doing a good job with all these classic characters.
Unfortunately, where I live, I just have a new comic shop that opened in Pelham.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been. It just opened, I think, last Saturday. So I haven't been to it yet. And I know the owner. I want to reach out to him, but I haven't had a comic shop local to me for almost 2 years, almost 3 years, I think.
Wow.
So I haven't read floppies in such a long time that I've been waiting for trades. So I'm gonna look up, and hopefully the new comic shop in Pelham, which I don't know if it's just called Pelham Comics. I got to look that up, but if they'll have the trades there, or if that's something I'll go to Barnes and Nobles or Amazon for or something. But I'd rather buy from a comic shop if I can.
Yeah.
So I'll look into that because I know who's putting it out. The Space Ghost, is that
Dynamite.
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 I got the first 10 or 11 issues, and that was a really good story. And
Okay.
I've been really enjoying, and I got like the first maybe 5 issues of Battle of the Planets. I think Dynamite did that too, or is that
No, Mad Cave's doing that one.
Did that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's really good too.
Yeah. They're also doing Blue Falcon, which is good.
I saw online that they were. I haven't.
Yeah.
Haven't read that one either.
Just
So,
a side note, Rich, you mentioned Mad Cave. They were at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So.
And I knew some artists that were signing books there and stuff, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there were a whole bunch of people there. So.
I was there.
So, Rich, what about you? Looking back, anything new you'd want to do?
It's been a crazy year.
It's been an off. Well, yeah.
Well, you know, I met Rick. You know, Tim and I go way back, and I'm Carl didn't join us tonight apparently.
Yeah, he's not
And
feeling well.
what?
He's not feeling well.
Oh, he's not feeling well. Okay, him and I are working on a children's book, Halloween Prankster, and it's based on a little kid who causes a bunch of trouble during Halloween. That should be out the first quarter. That's what we're hoping for. And I got 2 other projects that we can't talk about yet. Probably in January we'll talk about it. One's involving Mike, and this project that I dragged Tim into for the past couple of years that I haven't touched. I'm going to get it done this year if it kills me.
Wow.
But, you know, I'm sort of, it's been an interesting year doing conventions. I did as far as artwork's concerned, I did a lot of commissions. I did a backup story for a book called Cosmo Cat. That should be on Kickstarter fairly soon. And also did a backup story for Terrificon for one of their books. So I didn't do a lot of publishing. This year I'm trying to look more into the publishing end. So and that's it, really. So
Well, sounds great. I just want to say hi to Dylan in the audience and Mike Wilkie. Hey, Mike. All right, Rick, it's up to you now.
Bring it home, huh?
Yeah.
Tim, have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
I never had the pleasure.
No.
I'm pointing this way like you can see where I'm pointing.
I can't afford it.
What about you, Tim?
To San Diego?
Yeah.
No, I can't afford that.
2008 was the last time I was there.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
never been.
Yeah, I went to New York a couple
Chicago
of
and
times.
New York. Those are the 2 big ones.
Yeah, I used to go to San Diego almost every year because you know, when I was working for DC, you know, I could just go. And I also went through, you know, with the Disney comics and Gemstone and stuff, I was able to go as well, and that was those things are pretty exciting. Walking around, the people you meet, people you talk to, and anyway, well, I sort of went over what I did this year already. I'm gonna try and continue. I think Rich summed it up really well. The other day he said to me, we do these things with each other once in a while where I might start a conversation and it'll be like, can I ask you something personal? And he'll go, uh-oh. And then he may start a conversation where he'll say to me, Hey, can I be honest with you? So we have. When I first started doing the conventions early this year, I think it was in March. That's where I met Tim, and then in April I met.
Yeah,
It's Rich. It's Rich, right?
yeah.
So I met.
We did RetroCon.
Yeah, and it was pouring rain walking out to the car. Remember that? It was pouring rain, and he says to me, "We're going out to our cars," and he says, "When's the last time you did anything Disney?" And I said, "I don't know. I haven't worked for them since in like 20 years, maybe, you know." And he says, "Maybe it might be a good idea to, you know, produce some Disney work for the conventions. Because, I mean, let's face it, you go to conventions, DC, Marvel, superheroes are everywhere." And I only had print stuff, and the idea of doing original work and the idea of, oh my God, sitting there with a sketch pad was just too intimidating for me. And so I went home and I thought about it, and then I started drawing. You know, I had to like kind of brush up. I was rusty. I was very rusty. And I started, you know, trying to do the Disney characters again and doing all these different poses and different action moves and different, you know. And then eventually that came to scenarios. And then what I would do is, if I liked something, I would, you know, I'm on Facebook, but I don't post anything personal at all. I only post, oh, I drew this this week. You know, that's all I post. And, you know, I just want to see if people, you know, recognize the characters. That was my first intention. And yeah, they're okay. And I started, you know, selling them. And it was a couple of weeks ago. Rich says to me, "Can I be honest with you?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "You've really loosened up with your Disney stuff. It's really living, you know, whatever he was saying." And I know that he might have been slightly nervous, but, you know, if you've ever met the man, he's not nervous about anything he says. But
I froze.
Well,
who froze?
It looks like both of them did.
No, I'm still moving.
No, that's Tim normally.
So Rich is frozen.
Rich is having a stroke.
That was a big compliment and a big keep it going from Rich, and from doing the conventions and watching these guys and everything. I mean, at the last convention, you know, in between talking to people, well, it took me like, I don't know, half a day because I was talking to people all day and stuff, but I had a sketch pad. I started drawing stuff and doing stuff at the conventions. I did it in the last show that the three of us were at in Rhode Island, I think in October or whatever. And I was sitting there drawing. Somebody bought a Pluto drawing that I had done, and I really missed it, so I sat down and I drew it again and hung it back up. But yeah, at the last show a couple of weeks ago, these guys have gotten me to like think more like representing myself, what I did, and then doing it in public, which was really hard for me to do. So I sat there and I drew a Harley Quinn on a sketch pad in between talking to people. And just as I finished, a girl came by, and she was with her friend, and she says, "What's on your pad?" And I said, "Oh, it's Harley Quinn." She says, "Is that for sale?" And I said, "Sure." And I ripped it off the sketch pad and, you know, gave her a price, which I thought she was going to go, never mind. And she's like, "Sure." And she gave me, and I was like, wow. And I wouldn't have been able to do that like 9 months ago. I just wouldn't have been able to do that. So I think this year, like I said, getting up every day and going to the drawing board and just drawing my brains out on all these characters and stuff and coming up with new scenarios for them and trying the different media. Next year is going to be more of that. But also, I've done 2 Willie Weasley books, and I've written a 3rd one, and I really want to get going on that. And I'm very curious to see how much different it's going to be from the first 2. Because the first one I did before I ever worked in comics. The second one I did was just something to do during COVID. And this one is going to be a direct result of all the time and effort I've put in this past year. So I expect it to look a lot different and be even more animated. So that's my goal.
That's cool. That's cool. I gotta see these books in person. I've seen the drawings that when you were on, you shared some artwork, but I'd love to see. I gotta meet you one day in person.
Oh, I'll get there, and I'll even bring a couple of books. I will say, I'll just add this: at the last show, Philo Barnhart was there, and
Yes.
you guys know who Philo Barnhart is.
Philo's a great guy. Yeah,
He's a terrific guy.
he
So
is.
at the end of the show, before I packed up, because he was so busy the whole convention, Rich and I did a panel with him, which was a blast.
Yeah.
I've never met Philo.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a sweet man.
Oh, I'm sorry, he hasn't met me. So-
He mentioned that. He said, "Tell me about that Tim Smith guy." I went, "Tim Smith?
Tim Smith.
Tim Smith? I think it's pronounced Jones." Anyway, he came over as I was breaking down, and I thought, oh my God, I have all this Disney stuff out, and he's this, Disney animator, legendary. He bought he just this is beautiful. Oh, I want this. Which was a huge compliment to me. Then he looked at the Willie Weasley books, and I'm like, and it's one of those times where you just wish, like, oh God, I want this moment to be over. And he flipped through them, and he was laughing, and he goes, "This is very well done." And he bought them both. And of course, I gave him, a discount. Of course, it's Philo. But the final thing he did was I have this print I do the Legend of Elsie Borden. It's a print, and it's Elsie from Elsie the cow. Remember, she was on the commercials, animated, doing the Borden's cream and milk and stuff. And I turned it into, I basically did a spin on the Legend of Lizzie Borden, but it's the Legend of Elsie Borden. And I used the crime scene photo, and it's Elsie with this maniacal look in her eyes with the axe and the apron and everything. And it's Elmer from Elmer's Glue, from Borden's product, and he's basically I replaced the father with Elmer, and I made his head look like a ham, like slices had been taken out and everything. And it was hanging up on the rack behind me, and he saw it from a distance, and he went, just as he was leaving, he said, "Oh," he goes, "You have Elsie the cow down there. She looks like, what's going on? She's got this look on her face." And I went, "Oh, you've got to see it closer." And I take it and I give it to him, and he says, "My father animated the Elsie the cow commercials in the 60s." As I'm handing it to him, going, "Oh God." So he looks at it and he goes, "Oh, I see what you did." And he starts laughing. He goes, "Oh my God, this is great. How much for this?" And I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "Take it, keep it here." And he goes, he says, "My father would get a big kick out of this." And I'm like, it's that kind of validation, I guess, that the conventions are really good for me. And it's helped a lot. And I'm just looking forward to more of it in the coming year. So I want to thank you guys, both of you down here on my screen, Tim and Rich, for giving me a certain amount of inspiration at those shows. You guys are great. And Michael for letting me flap my gums about it on the internet.
I'm happy to have you on and listen to you talk. So you got a lot of great stories.
I've lived a long time. I'm tired.
I'm getting there.
Well, that's the thing. Like all three of you guys, I always enjoy chatting with. So yeah, man, there's just so much. And I know, Tim, you said you have a short time today. So
is that a height joke? Because
no, it's not a height joke. Oh man.
Oh my God.
You have such, and I say this every time, just how like deadpan you are.
Yeah,
just it's.
I asked him once. I said, "Do people tell you look like your character?" "Yeah, all the time." "Why?" That right there. That's why.
I do. I get it all the time. I thought I had.
Do you have a picture of him? Can you hold it up?
I have.
You have the plush, right? Near you?
Huh?
You have
I do. Hang on one second. Oh my God.
Suspense is killing me.
Okay.
Oh,
There he is.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
wow.
Hold on. Give me one.
I know
Let's give
it's
you
uncanny, isn't it?
There he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
With
God.
the little cape.
Yep.
So this girl, damn, she's gonna kill me. I can't think of her name right now, but made these for me, and they don't sell. But and then I have little ominous's to go along with it.
Oh, that's cool.
The
And
storm cloud, the cloud.
so
I haven't seen those at the show. Do you bring those to the show?
I was bringing them to KidsCon, but I only have a few left. So I'll wait till the next KidsCon and bring them. But I have to sell them for like a lot of money because they're expensive to make. Because I mean, she bangs these out of the park. This is like quality shit, crochet and stuff like that. And same with this guy. So I haven't ordered any more, but
Do you know how long it takes her to make each one?
I don't. Yeah, she says it. I think it's a couple hours.
Wow.
Because, I mean, imagine it took time to make the pattern. She had to figure out the pattern, but then once that was done,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's great, and he's a lot of fun. But so that's him. That's Aesop. And
Are you in touch with her?
no, I'm married. Oh,
I didn't ask if you touched her.
She-
Are you in touch with her?
so yeah. I mean, I haven't talked to her in quite a while, but
She's normally a retro, isn't she?
yes, she's
Okay.
no, not retro. She's at
I thought she was at retro.
I met her. No, I met her at Chris's shows.
Chris's shows. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Lauren Trahan. I just thought of it. Lauren Trahan. She's amazingly talented. She's got all kinds of crochet stuff. At one time, when I did meet her, I approached her with the idea, and 6 months later, she surprised me with a picture of it, and I was like, "Wow, that's so cool!" And then
It looks like you, and it's life size.
Yes, thank you. Does anybody care over there? I can get this upstairs, Rich. I mean, Rick.
Rick.
What's that?
Well, we have a Rick and a Rich. I just realized that.
Yeah.
That's
Rich and a Rick.
That's
Yep.
annoying. It really is.
Well, I would ask her to do a Willie Weasley, but he's tall, and it would probably
I mean, I'm sure
cost
she
as
would.
much as a Hyundai to have a.
I'm sure she would.
I know, but I mean, can you imagine, that character done? I mean, he's long and tall, and I don't know, derby hat and everything.
Can make a puppet of
Everything
him.
that we aspire to be. Everything that we aspire to be. Yeah, Aesop's just a miserable flying dog, and I guess they say you look like your pets look like you. Is that how it goes?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, yeah. Somebody at first, people would ask me if Willie Weasley was based on me, and I'm like, no, he's 180 degrees from me. He just happens to be tall too, and I sort of resent. I sort of resent that. What do you mean that he's like?
Yeah,
me?
Aesop's short. I just realized that.
Well, he hovers a lot, so.
Yeah, and he's a dog too. He doesn't have
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we refer to him as an individual. He's very
Okay.
sensitive about that.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize to
Yeah, well, I created Willie Weasley before my son was born. He's now 37, and he still refers to Willie Weasley as his big brother. So,
Ooh.
not too weird, but he looks
Yeah.
at the cover of Willie Weasley going, and he goes, "Dad!" No. Michael, who was that said hello?
Oh, that is he goes by Super D. He does the oh crap, why am I dude, if you're there, what's your strip?
I know what his strip is, and I can't think of it
Why
either.
am I blanking on I gotta look it up. He's done a bunch.
Mr. Jones, how many papers is Sour Grapes? And every time I see you, earn another million. 64D.
Where is
What's the name of his strips?
my webpage up, but
Rose.
Are there any comments coming in? Last time I could read comments.
You have to click the chat section.
Oh,
Let me go to Facebook.
there we go.
Click.
Where does it say chat? I see leave.
Down the bottom. On the bottom right of your screen.
Someone said hi, Rick.
Really?
Yeah.
Rosebuds. That's his
Rosebuds. Oh, I knew it was Rose.
I'm gonna put my glasses. No, there's nothing down there. There's a little square down in the.
on the side bar, but there should be something that says chat, and you can see all the comments.
See that's. Oh, wait a minute. Full screen.
Oh, if you're in full screen, you can't see them. You have to get out of full screen.
Okay, I'm out of full screen. I still. Oh, no wonder the window was going off the screen. There it is. Wait a minute.
Chat. And D Parson, he was
Chat.
on the show
There it is.
a couple of times. He goes by Super D online, and
Thanks for asking, D, if you're still there.
he had a great strip. Life of Kurami. I don't know if I'm saying that properly.
I remember that.
That was good.
Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I have to say hello to Dylan. Dylan Royer said hi to me. Mike Wilkie.
What was his other strip? He had 3 strips, I think.
Ooh, watch out is right.
Ooh.
Are you self-syndicated, D?
Hey, you know who said hooray for good hygiene?
No.
At the very my son.
Oh,
You taught him well.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? Oh.
he's got 45 papers. That's awesome.
Yeah, he says he's gaining on you.
Yeah, I just asked him if he was self-syndicated. I think he might be.
I think he's with King Features.
He says with King now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
congratulations.
Dylan.
Well, Rich, you just got your own hello from Dylan Royer.
It's King,
Yeah,
with
so
King.
he's with King Features. Yeah, congratulations, D.
My mouse
That's
keeps
great.
going all over the place. I'm sorry.
It's a daily strip now. Wow.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm still knocking on the doors, D. Literally.
Yes, but listen, you both have great strips. I will say that. If I thought that I could make my Wiz comic to the same level that you both have done your strips, I would still be drawing it right now, and I wouldn't be worrying about other projects in my head. But I think you guys are just amazing at what you do there.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, Michael.
I've never seen you Wiz comic. Why? I mean, have you tried to submit it anywhere?
I didn't try to submit. It is in a Kid in a Comic newspaper, which is a newspaper that and Tim's in that as well with Sour Grapes. It's a newspaper that is all comic strips.
Oh, Oh, I've
It
seen
comes
that.
out,
Yeah.
what, 7 times a year, I think? Is it? Do you know, Tim? Is it 7 or 8 times a year?
7 or 8 issues. Yeah, the
Yeah.
holiday one just came out.
Yes, came out. I got the package. I haven't even opened it yet. But yeah, it's great. I had fun with it. It's about a little wizard and his raven sidekick there, and the last year I did was basically a giant D&D campaign. And I'm trying to collect the book, but one of the things I'm also doing where other people who came into the campaign is I'm writing and drawing strips for them, so you can kind of learn a little bit more about those characters, and then they'll be in there.
Have you thought about collecting it into a book and maybe doing a Kickstarter or something? Or?
I have the 2023 collection in a book that I sell. I need to collect 2024. I did 2024 until January 1st, 2025 was the last strip.
How many did you do? Daily or monthly?
Weekly I did.
Weekly,
But when I
okay.
start, because the thing was I started it in 2018 and I was doing 3 strips a week. And then I got really sick in May of 2019 where like I had pneumonia, I was in the hospital, and I was away at shows doing a lot of stuff, running kids sections, and I had my day job, and it was too much stuff. I had to put something aside, so I
I
stopped.
know that feeling.
Unfortunately. And then when I started doing this show, actually, and I started bringing on people like Tim, and I had a lot of, ND who I brought on a lot of people who did like strips because I'm a huge comic strip fan, and when people who knew the Wiz were like, hey, you ever bringing them back? You ever doing it? And because I was talking to all these guys, I started to get inspired again. And one day I just said, you know what? Let me see if I can start talking to the Wiz again. And me and him have conversations. And all of a sudden the strips started writing themselves. And
I think you're sitting on top of something that, based on our conversation before this show started tonight, I think you're sitting on something. I just think you need to, I don't know. Tim, what did you do? Write to different newspapers and stuff and submit stuff? And I mean, how did you?
Phone calls.
I mean, geez,
I started out with phone calls, and now what I do is send an email, and I basically a little bit of what what it is, who I am and stuff, and then I give them a link to the website, and then what I do is I follow up on that, so I have something to, because hopefully by then that they've looked at it and stuff. So I just say, hey, I'm following up on an email, so they know what I'm talking about, and they'll look for the email and stuff and that. But I'll make a note is, to this day, and I've been doing this for a long time with Sour Grapes, to this day, I've never told them what the strip is about, ever. I just say it's Sour Grapes, it's in such and such amount of papers, black and white color, blah, 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 blah. And, let me know if you're interested. But I've never had to tell anybody what it's about. Nobody's ever asked me what it's about. Because, when I talk to people or, go to schools and stuff like that, I say that work's going to stand on its own. Right? Because if you have to sit there and explain it, it's like explaining a joke. It's not funny if you have to explain it. Well, so if you have to explain the strip, I see a lot of people put strips up on Facebook and stuff, and they're fantastic. But it's like they'll sit there and say, in this episode, this guy, does this, or this happens to this guy. Let it show it. You know what I mean? I never do that. I just say, here's this week's strip, this week's episode, or whatever I say. So in these emails to the newspapers, I never tell them, and I've never had to. It's amazing.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting. And there's your mini masterclass on how to sell a strip to the newspapers, Michael. I think, with all these ideas and stuff you've had, I mean, I think that you have something that, you've got a lot of it done already. Yeah. And, you obviously believe in it. Push it out there.
you know, you could use, and I've told this to someone else that's in a kid in a comic. I said you could use that as unpublished, not a lie, you know, and say, you know, I'm building on this. It's been successful in that paper, which it is, and just build on that. You know, it's now you have something to launch off of. That's how I started. I was in one paper when I started back in 2015 with sour grapes, and then what happened was I when I contacted another paper, I told them about that, and so they were like, oh, okay, so this guy doesn't draw on a napkin. So I got into another one, and then that led to another one and another one. Then the train started, and once in 1 year, I went from 6 papers to 17 way back when. And because the reason why that happened was because I was able to say, hey, listen, it's in a half a dozen papers right now. So the people see that it's successful and people pick it up, and they want to be like, hey, well, if it's working for them, we'll pick it up, and, you know, so on and so forth. And now it's in 64, you know. So, as a matter of fact, I've got it out to some more newspapers now. We'll see what happens. But, you know, a lot of no's, a lot of hang-ups, you know, and but I'd say 6 times out of 10, I get in, you know.
Yeah.
So,
which is great. I mean, you're self-syndicated. A lot of people aren't self-syndicated, you know.
Right.
So
I do like driving the ship. I really do.
Yeah.
Steering the ship, I should say. I
Yeah.
do like doing it. It's just a lot of work, you know. I don't know how you do it, Mr. Jones. So much charisma. Thank you.
I've always said that about you.
That's
You know.
another thing I don't get at home. But so I mean, it can be done. You know, I've just been lucky. But it helps to have strong characters and something funny that, you know. People come up to my tables at Comic Cons and they're going through my books and stuff, and they're laughing out loud, and it's fantastic. That's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing that's worth its weight in gold is when someone says, "I read you every week." That, you know, that kind of brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
So you know, it can be done, but you've got to have something that speaks for itself, you know.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, like when it comes to, and Rick, I'll send you a link to the Wiz strips. But you know, and just honestly, I will say this: I did, when I put out the 2023 collection book, and Rich and I, we did what was it, Undiscovered Realm.
Yeah.
Somebody, like, I didn't even know this. This guy came up to me. He's like, I came to the show specifically for your book. You know, it was such a nice. I never heard that before. Just like you know, I read it weekly, and
yeah,
they were. It was like a really nice feeling. What was I going to say? And Dee just put a nice thing there. You know, even if you don't make the Wiz, we need somebody. You know, we need your work in the world. Thank you. I have ideas for other strips. I just think I just don't know if the Wiz really is what I should be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think I have other strips in me.
Well, you know what? Maybe sometime the 4 of us should have a session where you bounce these ideas off of us.
Yeah.
And we talk to you about what we think might stick. Maybe the Wiz evolves into something that goes into one of these other ideas you have.
Yeah.
Thing is, I mean, I don't do comic strips because what I do on my own can't go. I mean, I suppose I could break them down and get them into 4 or 5 panels every day, but my thing is to write a story. That's the way I was, you know.
Yeah.
Was to write a story, break it down, and have humorous elements along the way, and then a payoff at the end. And plus, I mean, I get the same thing. People come to the shows, they flip through the books, they laugh. I don't get the, gee, I read this every week. It's, you know, it's impossible. But, you know, it's a good feeling to have them, you know, laughing. And I think the contrast of you guys having something that there people are laughing at because it's funny, genuinely funny. Think about it as a contrast to the freak show that's going on in the news these days every day. I mean, that comment is right. They need your work. They need you guys. They need these comic strip artists to make. You can go from one horrible story to another, and then boom, there's something that you just rest your eyes on and you laugh.
Yeah, see, Sour Grapes is based on my life, my daily life, my own experiences and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I can find the humor in a funeral home. Trust me.
Oh,
So
sure, yeah.
I don't take anything seriously,
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me why I've been married for 30 years, but if it's personal, Aesop's personal to me. It's always, I even have a tattoo of him, and it's personal to me. It's been around. It's always on my mind. Always, he lives in my mind. So if you can bring your life experiences into your strip,
yes,
and give it its own life, then, as opposed to just an arbitrary character, a giraffe that pushes a shopping cart around for some reason. Where are you going to go with that? But if you bring
the speedy checkout,
right, I'll get that for you. But but if you give it your own, you put your life into a character, then Jim Davis is the perfect example. Look at Garfield. I mean, it's just, you can look at it, you can see Jim Davis in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Plus, he also grew up with tons of cats.
Yeah. So it's what you associate yourself with and stuff like. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, it's weird because when I was doing Tom and Jerry, I related more to Tom. So I was putting more of myself into Tom, because the one thing they allowed us to do is the characters could talk. So it wasn't a pantomime strip, thank God. So would have gone crazy. But I understand what you're talking about. You're part of your strip and you're putting yourself, into it. Even though it wasn't my, created character, I felt that same way. So, just wanted to bring that out.
When people ask me how I come up with my ideas and stuff, and I say, well, if you used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? That's basically how it happens with me. Once a week, you would tune into Mr. Rogers, and he would have a theme for that show. But what he would do is he would go into the land of make-believe with the trolley, and they would be having something to do with that theme. So that's what I do with Sour Grapes. I sit down and I say, what's going on with them this week? What happened to me in my life? There's my theme, and I throw it at them. A lot of times it writes itself because I know the characters so well, especially Aesop, even Ominous and stuff like that. So that's just food for thought. That's how I do it, and that's how it's developed.
Was it Mort Walker wrote a book on backstage of the strips years ago, and he said he just used to draw the characters doing different things, and that's how he got some of his ideas to do comics, to do gags. So that's one thing.
Willie Weasley is everything that happens in those books I experienced. If you read the book, you're going to be like, "What?" Yeah, every incident in those books happened to me.
He admits it.
I admit it, and if I didn't experience it, I watched somebody experience. Because I was never a weasel, but it was my take on. When I sat down and I started seriously writing this back then, it was what ticks me off the most, and it would be weasels in the world that you come across in all day. We all come across them, and I would take some of those things and I would fit them into these notes, and then I'd read the notes, and then a story would come out. Sometimes there'd be a scenario that I went through, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start. That's what happened. Write it from that point back to the beginning. Put a backstory on it. And I mean, yes, I even have a funeral parlor scene in one that is based on real life. And of course, truth is better than fiction. You can't. The best humor is real life humor.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to write it out. Then you have to know how to draw it out. I talked to a group of high school students. That high school had me in to talk about my work years ago, and besides the regular DC stuff and the Disney stuff and everything, I had a Willie Weasley book, and I wasn't going to sit there and read the whole thing, but they wanted to see, and I'm showing them the pages. They got like 2 or 3 classes together, but I'm sitting there on a stool in front of everybody, and I'm kind of explaining what's happened right up to the punchline. And the kid in front of me, when I get to the end, everybody's laughing and everything, and the kid in front of me, he's not laughing. He's just sitting up and he's looking at me like this. Kids are feral. I'm just telling you. But this kid is sitting there. You know the type. He's sitting there, cross-legged on the floor, and he looks up at me. He goes, "Oh, that sounds like a sitcom." After I finished rolling the magazine into a tube and shoving it down his nose. And I looked at him and I said, "Where do you think sitcom writers get their ideas? They get them from their families. They get them from when they go out in the world. That's why we can all relate to a sitcom. And not all sitcoms are great. I'm not even a big sitcom fan. But that stuff, movie, whatever, somebody experienced it and turned it into a funny situation."
Yeah.
And, that's where, some of the skill comes in, is like, how do you take an everyday situation or something that, most of the time people would just say, what gets me? The people who blah, 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 blah. And then people like Tim will say, hey, you know what? Instead of complaining about it, I'm going to put it into a strip. And, that's the
Well, let me give you a perfect example. The strip that I just put out tonight, right, for this week, is basically Aesop telling Maddie that Ominous, I bet you didn't realize Ominous is an artist, right? And there's an easel behind it with a piece of paper, with a pad of paper, and then the next one Aesop says, well, here's his latest sketch, and Maddie says, well, there's nothing on it, it's just a blank piece of paper. And then in the last one, Aesop says, essentially, he drew a blank on this one. Right?
Yeah.
But the reason why I did that one is because I couldn't think of anything to do this week. So it was going to be blank.
So
then I said, wait a minute.
Hysterically funny.
Somebody's an artist. I was going to make an Aesop, and I said, well, let me think outside of the box. Ominous is going to be the artist. And that takes it to a whole new level. And but there's a perfect example of how I do this, and I base it on what I'm feeling, what's going on in this week and stuff like that. And then I shove it to them, and then and that's it. And then I take an X-Lax, and then that's it. So speaking of which, I gotta go.
Literally?
Before you go,
I
got one question. Because it really threw me when you said you have a tattoo of Aesop on you. I need to know where is it on your arm?
Don't make him drop. Don't make him drop his pants.
I'm not asking. If it's a tramp stamp or something, I don't want to know. But where do you put a tattoo? Because I can't get tattoos. Where?
It's right here. Hold on, I'll show you.
I'm just curious because
No, I don't undress for anybody, really.
I just want to. I actually.
I didn't even know you had a tattoo
art. Hold on.
There he is. Yeah, there he is.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
There it is.
That looks really good. Yeah, I like that.
Look, I can make him dance. Look, wait. Here we go.
I was really curious. In a tattoo art and due to
Now the world knows.
tattoos, you know. So
I was going to
Rich,
put it
Rich,
somewhere
let's
else.
see your tattoo.
I was going to put it somewhere else so I could at least just say up and away, but we won't go there. So
I just want to go to a couple of comment real quick. D says, when you were talking about making the strips, exactly, they have to come from the heart first and foremost when you have the people who love and read it, you know.
Yeah.
You do. And then Dylan's got to go. He's got to work on some storyboards for his animation. So see you later, Dylan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Tim, I'm sure I hopefully talked to you before, you know, the holidays, but you know, you have a great holiday since you got to go. And,
yeah, same to you guys. I love you all, and have a Merry Christmas. And
you have a Merry Christmas too,
yes,
Tim.
Merry Christmas.
And
talk soon.
Tim, will I see you in April?
Where?
Retro.
Oh, retro. Yeah, I gotta check the date. I don't know what's going on in April. I think KidsCon is April. Rick, you should do KidsCon.
Yeah.
With your stuff, Disney and
me,
Batman. Yeah, you should.
Okay. I mean, the only conventions I know, I mean, I found a few of them on my own, but most of the ones I go to now, you guys refer me to.
This one, she does 2 a year real quick. So KidsCon. This one coming up is in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I can't remember. Nashua.
April 14th,
yeah, the one that was, she broke a record with attendance last year. So
really,
yeah. Get my number from Rich, and I can you know, just don't call collect, but you can get my number from Rich. And do people still do that?
You know what? You can get my information from Rich too, but I'll have Rich. Rich, what are you going to do?
What am I, messenger?
Yeah, he's the middleman here. Rich is meet Rich, my secretary.
I've always been the middleman.
I can message you on Facebook.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I'll message you on Facebook, and you know, we can talk there. I'll give you my number. You can call me or whatever, and I can contact this woman unless you know, whatever.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not for a while. So
yeah, thanks. So the 14th, that what is?
I think it's the 14th. Hold on, let me check my calendar.
January?
April.
No. Is he having it?
Who?
At Retro.
Retro's supposed to be the first week.
Yeah, because he's having it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is. He's already advertising it.
He's already advertising.
Right.
I don't think he knows we're going there yet.
Is Retro the one that's in Oaks, PA?
Tiverton, Rhode Island.
Tiverton, Rhode Island.
Oh no, it's a different RetroCon then, because I know I did the RetroCon. I don't know how many years ago, pre-pandemic, that they had in Oaks, PA at the Greater Philadelphia Comic Con.
When
not Comic Con, but the Expo Center where we did the Game Con.
Yeah, well, we did the Game Con.
When is KidsCon?
New Hampshire.
I know when.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
You said the 14th, but you didn't say what month.
Hold on, I think it was.
It's on a Sunday. I know that.
Well, we're just narrowing it down.
There we go. Hold on. KidsCon, New England.
April 12th, Sunday, April 12th.
April 12th.
Yeah, I mean, I can send her samples and whatever. That'd be great.
I'll tell her about you.
You know what we could do, Tim? We could both wear tank tops and show off our tattoos.
I don't have any tattoos, so I'm not gonna wear a tank top.
I mean, I drew my tattoo also.
Oh.
I haven't worn a tank top since gym class.
I was being funny. We're going to be shirtless.
With shorts over sweatpants.
No tank top. We'll be shirtless.
I wore the shorts over the sweatpants. That's how old I am. So.
Oh, shorts. I never did that one. No, I never did.
Am I still on? Okay.
Yeah, you're still on.
Yeah, you're still
Not
on.
for long. but you're still.
Yeah, it's April 12th. Okay.
All right. So
Retro's, I think, the week before, April 4th. Yeah, it's the week before.
I think that's a good weekend. I don't think anybody's doing anything that weekend. So
yeah,
we can all do nothing together.
Yeah,
I'll be at
good.
C2E2 the weekend before that. So, God
Dylan
help.
said Merry Christmas.
We're also gonna. Before you go, we're also going to be at CH2 Collectibles this weekend.
That's what I was going to ask you.
On
Yes.
Sunday.
Rich and I will be at
City.
Chris's store at Jewett City and the mill there upstairs. Yeah. Great store. Rich and I will be there naked.
I don't even know what that is.
That's
it's near
mud wrestling in the
with
in
just
the store
tops.
window.
Yep.
I love it when you guys oil up and do that human pyramid. I just love that.
Really? We'll see if we can do that again. A little bit of 10W40 between the cheeks is just fine
I'm
with
telling
me.
you. And those other three guys you get, I forget where they're from, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of shimmering going on.
Okay, we're losing
it. Holiday themed show here. So.
Anyways,
yes.
So so we'll be there, and I will see you all soon.
We'll have drawings, books, and prints, and everything else.
I'm going to try to stop by. I don't have a car right now. I mean, I got to see what my wife's doing that day with her, if she needs her car, but I'm going to try to come out if I can.
Oh, there's one book sold.
I said buying anything. Now it's
if it's near Mohegan Sun, it's an hour away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And
so Rick has to show up too.
Well,
it's about a 3-hour drive for me though.
This cold has to be gone for me. 3 weeks is long enough, and I don't want it coming back.
Yeah.
And
about 2 hours.
I'm not gonna, so I would love to be there.
Yeah.
If I knew about it sooner, I would have taken better care of myself.
I'll just bring a can of Lysol, for God's sakes. It kills everything.
Hang on a second.
So it's going to be this Sunday. That would be
this Sunday.
10 to 2.
Yep.
10 to 2. That's what I was
10 to 2. Just like the way you put your hands on the steering wheel.
Oh, there's
10
the
to
cat.
2.
There's one of them. His brother is upstairs.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
So, anyways, I'll see y'all soon.
See you later.
Okay.
Give me a call anytime.
I'll contact you on Messenger.
All right. All right. Have a good night. I'll see you.
Thank you. You too, Tim.
Right,
you take care. Have a nice Christmas.
Yeah, you too. How do I do that?
I'll see you Sunday.
Push the button that says leave. Okay. Bye.
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 Bye, man. Thanks.
That's
I wish I had that button when I had company. When I have company, leave.
Please leave.
Boom.
That feels better when the screens look like that to me. I don't like them. Anyway, wow, that was a lot of information already. Like Tim gave, like you said, a whole master class.
There was like this was an interesting session because it would we'd have peaks of information, then it would like kind of slow down, then another wave of information of something would come in. This was a good one.
I think it's Christmas. I think it's holiday burnout too.
I have head cold burnout.
You've had con crud since.
Exhausted me.
I think I've been a little bored lately since, at the moment, as my audience knows, I'm currently out of work. So I'm trying to just do a lot of stuff. Well, I'm doing a lot of stuff at the moment. And
yeah.
Hey, nice comment, Super D. Thank you.
What do you say? What a fun chat.
What a fun chat.
Yes.
Thank
you. Back on. D's been on twice now. I got to be honest. He was on earlier this year, and I forgot that I had him on a couple of years ago. That I was like, oh, I'm excited to talk to him. I had never talked to him, and he's like, oh, I was on already. And I'm like, you were? I had to go back and look. But yeah, I got to have him back on. Maybe bring on some other like strip artists and maybe have a nice, fun strip art conversation. Um,
That's if you hear that, that's my dog having
I
a
was going to
nightmare.
ask.
I thought it was your stomach.
No, it's my dog.
I didn't want to say anything.
Great, though. I love that.
Sitting over there.
It's like, man, pop a Pepto-Bismol or something, you know?
It's like,
It's funny.
she has these crazy dreams, and it's like she barks in her sleep.
Yeah.
But normally she doesn't bark at all. You know, she'll make little noises, but she won't bark. But when you're in her sleep, she'll bark loud.
Maybe it's the sound of my voice.
I don't know. No, she does this all the time. She's sitting there like shaking and sleeping.
Hysterical. You got, that. I'll tell you right now. You record that, put that up online, and you'll get more likes than anything you ever post.
You should make it your ringtone.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
That's hysterical. Yeah, I want to do that to my cat. I want to record my cat. He snores every night. Or anytime he sleeps, he's just got a heavy snore.
So here you go, Michael. Super D says you had him on before Rosebuds went daily. So much has happened even after the last time I was on. So you probably have a whole.
Oh, we got a whole other conversation.
You got a whole special with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his, I love his strip. I got to be honest. I don't read it daily. When I see his posts online, I read it. But what I do with a lot of strips is I will wait till the end of the week, and then I'll just go and read the entire week of strips. For certain stories, certain strips, I like doing that for. But if I see the posts, I will read them as soon as I see them, and then I'll go back and read. So, like if I saw it today, I'll go back and read Monday and Tuesday if I haven't read that already. So,
Nice.
Yeah, like I said, I try to read a comic a day, like an actual physical book or a digital book. But like with strips, I'll read about 10 a day, maybe more. I'll just go and spend my morning doing that with my coffee and sketching and a bunch of different websites, see who I follow on Facebook or Instagram.
I'm not really following anything current. Do you want to see what I'm reading?
What's that? Yes, but that's great though. Those are great strips.
This is like the best comic. I mean, these are our adventure strips. These stories get really involved, and they're so well written. Of course, I love the artwork. And then I had to see I got one of the Sunday color ones, which has gags and one-page things. But then they also do some adventure ones for just Sunday that go on for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, talk about a class and how to do strips. Gee.
Those are great. I haven't had anything since because what happened was I was thinking for about a week of moving my studio, and then Monday around like 11 a.m. I said, I'm going to do it, and I just moved my studio around, so I haven't done anything except clean this place for the last 2 days. But yeah, no, I read a lot behind me. I don't know if you could see. On top of my bookcase, those are all outside of the Tolkien stuff. That is all strip books up there.
Wow.
And that's not even all I have. I have a bunch on another bookcase, and I go to those all the time. I'll just pull one out and I'll read, a couple of 20, 30 pages out, and then put it back, pick another one up. And,
I'm gonna plug a Marvel book that I've read.
Go for it.
Because I just read this this week. But the artwork by Michael Cho is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's you guys can see it.
Let me give
oh, wow.
Where's the mouse? Hold on. There it is. I'm going to give you the screen real quick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
It actually makes me have faith in superheroes again. Compared to what,
Well, it's got a Silver Age vibe to it. And
it's great.
And what I like about it is that I find a lot of comics these days just overdrawn. A lot of superheroes, they're just overdrawn.
Yep.
And that had colors for backgrounds. And when I was a kid in the Silver Age and stuff, you would just get a panel with just, a shadow or a color, and now everything is just drawn in detail constantly.
Yeah.
And
No,
I love that.
excuse me, by Chip Kidd and Michael Cho.
Mhm.
And it's I mean, look at this one with Thor. I mean, this is like,
I'll give it to you again. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
that is great.
Has a Darwin Cook
I
feel
love
to it.
Darwin Cook.
You were just about to say the two books I've been flipping through on
Uh-huh.
my break from the studio is Batman Ego
Uh-huh.
and New Frontier.
New
Yeah,
Frontier.
those are
Darwin
great.
Cook right there. I've been going through them. I was just pulling. Those are the two books that I've been going. And I just watched a YouTube, like some guy did a 30-minute documentary of Darwin. It was a really well
Uh-huh.
I actually
researched.
saw it. He had trouble getting hired.
Yeah.
I think I'm guessing I can see a commonality here is that Rich draws funny animals, I draw funny animals, and that style that we just talked about, Darwin Cook, Michael Cho, all that stuff, it's a little on the cartoonish side, which I always preferred. I mean, I think
Yes.
that was the success of in animation, Batman in the animated series.
Yeah.
It became the definitive Batman, but it was very. It looked as good in a comic book as it did animated, and that's because it was soft lines and So anyway, yeah, no, that stuff is great.
Yeah.
Last night I got into bed to fall asleep because I was having trouble falling asleep with the coughing and everything.
Mhm.
I'm starting to go through. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do this.
Oh God.
All those black books there. Those are just archive. I mean, those two bookshelves are all the books I've done in my career. But so a lot of them, because they were deadline driven and stuff, I just focused on what I had to do.
Mhm.
And I always said, well, when I retire, I'll read these. I'll retire. They go back to the 90s, And yeah, every once in a while I pull one off the shelf and I read it because I don't really remember the storylines and stuff. And last night I read, because I was a big Metal Men fan back in the early 60s. And last night I read The Brave and the Bold, Metal Men, and The Atom
Uh-huh.
from 1960, early 1964.
Didn't Romain who drew that? Ramona Fradon, right?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
And if they remembered, if they knew, they put it in the
Yeah.
listing in the front. And it was kind of bonkers. I mean, it was it was a three
What's up with
chapters.
bonkers?
It was bonkers, but it was like, I mean, they kind of put in science facts about how metal reacts to certain other metals and certain radiation and certain things, and and then the Atom always does these impossible. It was bonkers. The Metal Men with Atom. It was crazy, but really enjoyable. And I don't know. It's maybe just reading it with adult eyes as opposed to reading it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You read it as a kid. It's just another comic book, the action, all that. I'm really reading it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is nuts, But the artwork was great. It was smooth, and yeah, I go into a comic shop now, and I tend to look at vintage stuff. I tend to look at what people are doing with funny animals and whatnot. And sometimes that's kind of hard to find. But then I'll look at the wall of like the latest superhero stuff, and it's just like an explosion of black line. It's just, again, I just find it very overdrawn.
You know what the problem
It's
is?
good artwork, but it's just,
Yeah, some of the artwork is incredible, but the problem is, I think they took the fun out of superheroes. That's
Yeah.
what it is, and it's too serious and too, too complex a lot of times. And I go back to my older books. Some a bunch of grumpy old men, but
No. I've had this conversation with a friend of mine where, and although I feel like things changed after The Watchmen came out in the 80s, like I enjoyed the Watchmen book for what it was, but I feel everybody all of a sudden had to like kind of deconstruct the superhero and do kind of darker themes with them, and they weren't writing for the that kid audience anymore. They were writing for themselves. And
I think it was Dark Knight that did it.
You think it was Dark Knight? Okay,
I think it was Dark Knight.
Too, yeah.
Dark Knight and Watchmen.
As much as I liked it, but I noticed that there was.
I love Watchmen.
I love Watchmen, and I love the Dark Knight Returns. But yeah, everybody tried to cash in on that, and I mean, I think because of that, when I was a kid, all I knew was about Clark Kent was he had an apartment and he worked on Daily Planet. They get into so much about their private lives and their emotions and their angst and their, I don't know, just their sexual preferences, their just everything, their family dynamic. I don't care. I could care less. A little goes a long way, and that's why it worked for decades with Clark Kent just trying to hide his secret identity with his job and his pair of glasses, and everybody bought it and it worked. But as soon as they started going into deep dives, I was like, and then because of that, they had to you couldn't finish a story in one issue. You had to have multiple issues. You had to have crossovers. You had to have, and I was like, I lost interest. Yeah. I lost interest, and I started going for the alternatives.
Yeah. There is a fun book. Okay, and Alan Moore wrote it. Tom Strong. I don't know if you guys ever read that.
Tom Strong. I bought one of the volumes.
Yeah. And I bought the whole compendium, the whole omnibus. Yeah.
There's one of the omnibuses I bought, and I read the whole thing from cover to cover immediately. And I felt like a little kid reading a comic again. It kind of brought that all back again. And the artwork was easy on the eyes. And it was well drawn, and there's plenty of detail, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a pen blew up in my face,
Yeah. So, I mean, I got one time at a convention, I got the nastiest look because I blamed. Somebody asked me about the industry, how the industry changed and everything, and I said I blame it on two characters, and they didn't like it. I said I blame it on Wolverine and the Joker. Yeah. That's the two characters that everybody looked. Everybody wanted to do Wolverine. So that was another thing. Let's see what we can top. That's what it was like. And still like that. So.
Yeah, I also think, and looking at modern stories, a lot of the books, Rick, when I think it was you were saying, it was the story, too much information. I feel like they become more slice of life books than superhero stories.
Yeah.
And superhero fans don't want slice of life,
I mean, a little.
There's I gotta disagree. There is a generation that does want that.
In superhero books, you think?
Yeah, I'd say more of a younger generation. That want that. But
they must. I mean, are they buying it? I don't even know if the younger generation even reads.
I don't know what the numbers are in Marvel.
I don't know if they read the superheroes that much. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know you like Space Ghost, and I felt the fun on Space Ghost was taken out.
I mean, it got it was a little darker and stuff, but I thought it didn't have the feel.
No offense to the writer, but that's just my opinion. Yeah.
No, it didn't have the feel of the old cartoon, but to me, it felt. I felt it was a good story.
Yeah, it was a good story, but
I mean, I haven't read it, I haven't seen it, but I mean, was it an attempt to appeal to both the old viewers, the old cartoon, and a little bit of the current, or did they completely dismiss what made it fun?
I mean, it was a retelling a little bit. And I'll just it wasn't that. I don't know how to say it, but basically, like in the first book, Space goes to save Jan and Jace, who were on a space station, I think it was, or a spaceship,
Yeah.
with their father, and but what was it? Who was it? Blip, the monkey.
Mhm.
He there's a more of a story behind him, being a much more intelligent character and almost like a science experiment than um, than just what he was in the cartoon, where he would
That's
just show up in Viso power and get Space Ghost his bands back and save the day.
that sounds like Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Similar.
Yeah, maybe a little
Yeah.
similar, but I think the first 10 issues would definitely be worth the read.
Yeah.
But it's not the but Rich is right. It's not like the old cartoon. And listen, I love the old cartoon. I have I still watch it. I have the DVD of it, and I have the Space Stars from the '80s where they did the whole like redo of Space Ghost and all the other
Yeah.
stories. I love those cartoons, and I'll pull them out and watch them once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, those are very simple. They work in a little 6-minute
yeah, exactly.
format. But
But I
didn't
go ahead.
DC do a Space Ghost like 10, 15 years ago?
Oh,
It
yeah.
was very dark and
but I
very
wasn't
serious.
into that one too. That was trying
No,
to tell
I
the origin,
wasn't either.
I think.
Yeah.
Of Space
I read the first one and I was like, wait a minute, where's Space Ghost? You know,
Yeah.
I don't need all that. I mean, don't they do that with everything? You had this, and I didn't really. Well, the first season I loved Lost in Space because I was 12 when it was on CBS, and it was on every, I don't know, Tuesday night or something. It was on every week, and I was getting older. Next year I was 13, 14, and by then they were doing the Space Carrots and they were doing the Dr. Smith focused silly, things, and I switched over to Star Trek, and
Oh,
then
come on. The hippie one was great.
oh god,
Dun, 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 dun.
there was a hippie one on Star Trek too that was awful. But then there was then they did the reboot of Lost in Space. Was it in the 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, they did the
And
movie.
that movie.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, it's but it didn't quite capture. They could have really told that same story, but they could have made it a little bit more fun, like
Yeah.
the first season of the show. The first season of the show was fun, but it was also
It was fun but serious.
it was very adventure, a lot of
Yeah.
adventure. And then they did the series on Netflix where they just pretty much everybody had similar names, but it was a whole different, and it was very serious.
Yeah.
And they seem to do that with everything. And they even whenever they reboot something, they're like, well, let's not like do it silly. Let's ignore everything that made it popular.
Yeah.
Because we have a new world, we have a new audience, people are more sophisticated, so let's throw everything out that made this a hit. And and I'm like, oh. Anyway, get off my lawn.
No. Listen, I get it. I'm a big promoter these days of obviously always indies. I've always been a big promoter of indie comics, but I've been reading a lot more manga over the last 2 years, and I gotta say it's a completely different way of telling a story. And I'm finding those stories a lot more fun than what I'm seeing in mainstream comics. But I feel like what those mainstream comics, like I was saying, Slice of Life, other stuff, they're trying to bring the manga storytelling into American comics.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah.
Directly at all. So they fail in America here, and manga sales still go up.
Yeah. But I mean, they're also experimenting, doing more like some kids' books with superheroes, and not just mainstream superheroes. I think the problem is the mainstream stuff is too serious. That's just my personal opinion. But people love it.
When I was working for DC, and grant you, I stopped working a year and a half ago. But during the last 10 years that I worked there, I was told, do you know what department at DC made most of the money for them?
Research and development. Wasn't it research or what was it?
Collected editions.
Yeah, that's.
They made most of the money. Why? Because it was all vintage stuff.
Uh-huh.
It was all the retro vintage stuff. They were redoing it. The archives, the omnibuses, the collected. It all came under collected editions, which there was no collected editions when I started.
No, they're still doing them. Yeah.
And then because, I was there at the beginning of all that, and I was getting more and more work, and those books were selling, and it was expanding, and then they had to create a department, and then I was working for that department doing all these books and stuff, and then one day they said, they make the majority of the money, so they
I believe it.
And it's not just because of the big price tag on these books. It's because sometimes those books wouldn't sell because, especially the archives, because they were very expensive for 200 pages. But collected editions came along during or after the archives, but they wound up making most of the money that kept that company going. The new stuff, the death of Superman. I remember I was only there like a year when the death of Superman happened. I was there, I don't know, a year or two, I forget. And once the novelty wore off that he was dead, and they took the title off. And then they started, they had the 4 imposters, Superboy, and the cyborgs. I'm not sure anybody really cared. I don't think sales were great on those issues.
No, and then they did the
containment suit,
the ice skating Superman.
Yeah,
so.
the containment suit. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I read all those.
They just had to go back to basics, and it picked up again. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't run the zoo, so you can't. Nothing I can.
Yeah, we could sit and bitch and moan about it all night. But the thing is, in some ways, they know what sells and what doesn't sell. What they're competing with and what they're not competing with. But I do feel for years that the industry just catered to one audience. But now, with Kickstarter and all these other, I think they're getting more different people reading, different books. And like I said, there's more of a chance of doing kids' books again than anything else.
So.
Yeah.
I think so. Plus, on the other end of the spectrum, heavy metal is back.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But they didn't start off on a good note. They did a Kickstarter. They had a lot of trouble delivering, and things got to stores before they got to their backers.
I'm one of the angry mob.
I am too. I mean,
I'm one of the angry mob, and I just got an email yesterday about not everybody got issue 3, and there's a form to fill out. I got to fill out. The only thing I'm missing is my angry mob member number, because I contributed to Kickstarter. I wanted, but at least they seem to be following up on their goofs. And if anybody from heavy metal is listening, and I think I might have mentioned this in the angry mob online thing.
Yeah.
There's one thing that is bugging me about the reboot. When an artist is, there's like 2 or 3 different Tarna comics with ongoing storylines going on month to month. And to me, Tarna was, she came from the movie. She was created for the movie. And I've drawn Tarna, and, I have Tarna, in my collection to sell at shows. I've drawn her a few times. I even submitted a Tarna for an idea if they were ever going to do the binders for the magazines. I have the old original heavy metal and the original heavy metal binders. And they were looking for ideas, and I was in that, blog thing, and I'm writing, hey, how about, and I wrote, and I drew a Tarna. Maybe you could do this. and I photoshopped it onto the, I took a picture of my original binder and I took off what they had and I put my Tana drawing on there and I said, hey, how about this? Well, when I draw Tana, she looks like she's from the movie. In other words, she's got the same hair and that face. And I don't like the way they do Tana in these comics. It looks like some random blonde dressed as Tana.
Yeah.
Huh.
And when you watch the movie, everything about it's in her face. I mean, they do close-ups of her. She's like a female Clint Eastwood, she's scowled. She's got that look. They designed her beautifully. And nobody is paying attention to that look. They get the costume right, but it looks like a cosplayer in a comic. And I like my eyes glaze over. It's like, oh, great, a Tana. And I turn to it and I'm like, that's not Tana.
I gotta look. Was she in the first? Did they do something with her in the first book? The because I only got the first one and I read it, but it was a while ago. So, like, I got it. When did we have all these issues? They started delivering them like April, May, or something.
Yeah, they come out like every 3 months. The third one. So yeah, it was. I got the first one in hardcover and they had variants, and I got one hardcover that I picked. And I got the second one, which they also had a variant for. So they sent two. I get the soft cover subscription, the trade pick, and they did 2 different covers. And they sent that. I mean, they do good things. The third one I didn't even know was missing until I got the notice, and they said it could be in transit. So I'm giving it a couple of days, and then I'm going to submit my little ticket. And send it to them and say, hey, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that heavy metal is back, and they do pay a lot of respect to the original run of heavy metal.
Yeah.
And they do articles and artwork and stories from the original heavy metal. They've actually gotten some of the original artists who did some of the series, the first run, to come back and continue a story from back then, which is great. They have new stuff, and then they might do a retro piece. They might reprint something. So I really enjoy it. On the other hand, I've got like 2 shelves filled with. I mean, I subscribed to that for so long, and all the back issues I didn't get before I subscribed, I found them at flea markets over the years before it caught on, and I got them all over there. And when I get bored of something, I go through my heavy metals. And I think I have to watch that movie once a year.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I got to rewatch it myself.
Yeah, I mean, considering when you watch the animation these days, and back then, when there's no CGI and there's no computers and everything is handmade, and the highest tech thing they'll do is like rotoscope when they have to. It's just fun to watch. I know it's a little, but I really enjoy. I enjoy the artwork. I just like watching it and the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it when it came out. I didn't see it when it originally came out. I don't think. I think I saw it because that was what
1980, 79, 80. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was 3 or 4 years old back then. So,
I saw it in high school.
Well, you might have cool parents. Or you start in high school.
I saw it when I was in high school.
I think that's when I got to it, sometime in high school.
Yeah.
So you're looking early 90s. I graduated in 94, so 90 to 94 was sometime I got my hands on it.
They
Probably a VHS at Suncoast Video or something. I picked
Yep.
What happened was I think in 83, 82, 83, it showed up on HBO.
That's right.
And I'm like, I'm going to record this. And I recorded it. And then I'm like, okay, in case something happens to that tape, I'm going to record it again. And I recorded it twice. So for years, I had 2 VHS tapes. And then, it never came out. And then I learned that the music rights filed everything up. And then bootlegs were going around at conventions, probably people like me who recorded it off of HBO. But I had been watching it for years on my videos that I did off of HBO. I mean, I still have them. and then it was finally released, and I got it on videotape, and then it came out again and DVD, and I got the DVD, and I'll probably be buried with a copy of Heavy Metal, so I can watch it in the afterlife.
I'm pretty sure I have a DVD. I have in my closet. My top shelf has like over 500 DVDs in there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know where to begin looking, but I think I have a copy of it there. But it's probably streaming somewhere that I can watch it now. So
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I'm seeing if it's streaming.
Oh, they'll put it on Tubi, or they'll put it on, Philo or something. They put it on these obscure streaming services.
Those things Tubi's great.
I love Tubi.
It is. It's the one that I most of my time on. Oh wait, it says it's on Netflix.
It's on Roku.
On Roku too. It's funny. With this setup that I have right now, my Cintiq standing up, like, what is it, like vertical, so I can use it as a monitor while I talk to you guys. But normally it's down, and I set a monitor up so I could hook up like a Roku or an Amazon Fire Stick or whatever to it. But it's for things like this that I can't find stuff. So I'm like, just what am I gonna buy? I tried hooking up an old Fire Stick, but it was too slow today. But
are we still on the air or whatever?
Yeah.
Are people watching this?
We have a couple still watching.
Oh, God bless them. I mean, really?
Listen, I'm going to tell you.
I thought we were done. That's why I'm like, no.
No, this is what people like. I will say this, and I think I've said it before.
People like this they like this chat?
Yeah, most of my fans are artists who watch this over the next couple of days while they're in their studio working. So this is what they like, because it's just artists hanging out.
So that's the sound I hear. I hear thuds of foreheads hitting tables all over the place. Boom, boom, boom.
No, they love this stuff. And
they fall asleep listening to this at night.
Listen, I sometimes get emails or messages on Facebook or whatever. I watched your show last night. Oh, no, not last night, but I watched it while I was working today. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, my God. I just want to apologize to everybody. I thought that we were off, and I wouldn't have, No.
I would have stopped you if if you were saying something that.
Well, I don't want to put anybody. I don't want to put anybody to sleep, though. I mean.
No, this is what people like. It's real. It's us just hanging out, talking about, how we feel about comics, the things we love.
Don't break your heart.
I'll tell you a story I'll tell you a story that happened today.
Okay.
And it can just show you how. Well, basically, it just shows you how stupid I can really be. I'm proud of this, but I'm not proud of it at the same time, and you'll know why. Huge Beatles fan. In fact, at the panel, remember Philo brought up the Beatles, and I said, anybody who knows me knows I adore the Beatles, and I've followed their career since I saw them in Ed Sullivan when they first came on when I was in 5th grade. I've got everything that they did. I don't buy the packages and stuff. I mean, I have the original stuff.
Yeah.
But they're artists, and I love listening to them while I work. So I got this turntable. It's behind me. When I'm at the drawing board, I got a table behind. I can just spin around and flip the records, or it's a nice record player, nice stereo. I got a good brand and everything, because I got a regular full-blown stereo upstairs with 4 speakers and the amp and everything. This one was just for me while I work. And it Bluetooth. I can play CDs through it. I get a little Bluetooth CD player that I bounces back but upstairs and downstairs between the two. I can plug in my iPod. It's just a great little system.
Yeah.
So I brought down a little crate of Beatles CDs. Because I was bringing down the stacks of the vinyl, and I was listening to those, and then I thought, gee, I forgot how short one side of a vinyl is of a record. So I brought down the CD so I didn't have to turn around so much to switch. And I was watching the other day, a YouTube video when I was having coffee in the morning when I got up, and I watched this guy from England who worked in the recording business, and he does this whole Beatle thing about the recordings, and I find it very interesting. And he talks about the new CDs that are released. He talks about the old records when they're in the vinyl. It's just really fascinating to me. And he said, he's talking about Let It Be. And there's going to be a box set of Let It Be, or there was a box set of Let It Be, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I got the original album. And then, oh gosh, about 25 years ago, they came out with something called Let It Be Raw, which was Let It Be without all of the Phil Spector, strings and violin and orchestrations layered on top. It's just the Beatles in the studio, their recordings without anything else added to it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. I should probably listen to that. And of course, Let It Be has been done so much with the Peter Jackson, remake of the Get Back movie, the 3-section Get Back movie that was on Disney Plus, and then they re-released Let It Be all cleaned up on Disney Plus. So, and then there's the anthologies that came out in the 90s. 1, 2, 3, 4 just came out.
Yeah.
So he's talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got the anthology. Oh yeah, I watched all that stuff and everything like that. And then he mentions Let It Be Raw. And he said, and Let It Be Raw, besides having the CD in it, if you bought the CD, besides having the CD in it of all the songs without the layers, there's another CD in there called Fly on the Wall, which is basically the recordings of the Beatles when they weren't recording music. There's some recording and them playing, but most of them talking. And it's it predates the anthologies, but you can hear the Beatles working and everything. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, mine didn't come with a Fly on the Wall CD. I'm like, what is he talking about? That's kind of cool. That must have been a reissue or something. So then he said, and if you bought the vinyl, you got a second vinyl album of the Fly on the Wall. And I'm like, this seems like a standard thing. I've had this album, the CD rather, since, like I said, 25 years. So I come down here, first day I felt like working. I start working, and I'm like, I'm going to put some Beatles on. Oh, gee, I got to look at my Let It Be Raw. I pick up my Let It Be Raw. Now, what I would do is when I bought a CD, because the iPod was out with a thumb wheel on it and stuff, I would immediately rip the CD and put it on my iPod, and that's how I would listen to my CDs, and I'd put the CD away. Like in the old days, I'd buy an album, record it to a cassette, and then listen to the cassette in the car and in the cassette player to save where my albums from those days are still shiny. They were happy because I was just wearing out the cassettes. Well, then I started using the iPod. So I ripped the CD, put it away. I forgot about it. I pick up the CD, and I'm like, oh, there's the CD. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's heavy because there's a little booklet in here. And I'm like, oh, the booklet's on the other side. And I'm like, and I got my finger in there, and I'm like, and there it is, the Fly on the Wall CD. I had no idea I had it. It's like, it showed how stupid I was, but it was a little victory too. I mean, I'm like, son of a bitch, I've had this thing for 25 years. I didn't even know I had it. Immediately put it on and listened to the guys while they were recording and everything like that. And I'm working, and it was, to me, it's a brand new CD. And I'm like, God, sometimes I'm just really thick.
Have you ever seen the two graphic novels, the one with the fifth Beatle and the one where they did the Paul McCartney conspiracy theory?
The conspiracy thing?
Yeah, there was one on Image published one, and then Dark Horse published one on the fifth Beatle. You never saw this?
No. The only Beatle comic I've ever read was the graphic novel of Yellow Submarine. No, I tend not to read comics. I mean, there's been a few Beatle comics. I did go out on eBay and get the Joe Sinnott one. That was
the Joe Sinnott one, yeah.
That was interesting because it was very nostalgic, and I got it for a good price. But no, I figure if anybody should write a Beatle comic, it should be me. Yeah. And I'm not going to do it.
Contact Sony. Contact Apple.
Because I'm the guy that really loves them. I know all these stupid facts about them. But, no, why? Are they any, I mean...
Yeah, the one conspiracy theory was interesting. The one that they did. And then the one with Fifth Beatle was pretty good.
Who's the fifth Beatle in that one?
Where is it? I don't have it. in here. I think it was about Pete Best and stuff.
Oh, that fifth Beatle. There's a lot of
yeah.
fifth Beatles.
No, it's about what's his name? Who's the manager?
Brian Epstein.
Brian Epstein. It's about Brian Epstein. Excuse me. Getting tired.
We should probably wrap up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually we're just going to be talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
really.
can do that offline if you want. I'm just saying.
We'll do that offline. We can really go crazy. But yeah. So yeah, the Joe Sinnott one. I don't have a copy of that.
I do. I mean,
I know you do. Hey, who was the drummer for the? Never mind. Who was the drummer?
Pete Best.
No, you remember for the album.
Oh.
We'll wrap it up and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Let's not get into that anyway.
All right. Actually, probably because we've hit the over 2-hour mark about 6 minutes ago.
Oh, geez.
I think that's enough.
I think we've had a great time tonight. I think the audience has been really enjoying. We're down to a couple of people still watching.
I'm certainly tired of hearing my voice.
So, listen, you guys, thank you for coming on tonight. I had a blast chatting with you both. Everybody who stayed the whole show or watching whenever you watch, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great holiday season and Happy New Year. And we'll be back in 2026 with some new guests and some old guests as well. I'm sure you guys may return in 2026.
Hope so.
I'd be happy to.
I hope so too. And I got a few really cool things planned. But yeah, I might do some live streams now that I have a lot more free time. So
we're gonna try and fix that.
Yes, I'm really trying to fix that every day. But yeah, you guys, thanks again for coming on. I wish you both a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever.
Thanks for having us.
Great.
Okay, you staying on afterwards, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out after.
Yeah, I'll hang out for a couple minutes. Yeah.
All right. So let me sign off here. Let me find one.
I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Well, Merry Christmas.
And Happy Hanukkah, because Hanukkah's going on right now.
That's true.
Going on right now, and yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye here. See you guys later.